I was reborn on the day Landon Pierce was drugged. But this time, instead of being his antidote, I dialed the number of the woman he loved, Lydia Rowan. In my previous life, I had fallen for Landon, the man who raised me, when I found out H been drugged. I ignored his desperate plea to call his lover and ended up sleeping with him, becoming his antidote. A month later, I found myself unexpectedly pregnant. Landon was forced to marry me. But on the day of our wedding, his beloved woman was killed by kidnappers while abroad. Before her death, she tried to call him 199 times, begging for help. But Landon, preoccupied with the wedding, never answered a single call. Afterward, he stared at those 199 missed calls in silence, never speaking a word. Then, when I went into labor, he locked me in the basement. I begged him to take me to the hospital, but he just smiled cruelly, watching as I suffocated, unable to give birth. Just before I died, I heard him say, "If you hadn't gotten pregnant, I wouldn't have been forced to marry you. If you hadn't taken her place, I would be." Answered Lydia's calls. "You deserve to die." When I opened my eyes again, I was back on the day Landon had been drugged. "Myra, hurry up and call Lydia." Hearing those familiar words again, I suddenly realized I had been reborn. Without a second thought, I grabbed my phone and dialed Lydia's number. Landon's face flushed red, his gaze burning as he looked at me. In my past life, I had made the mistake of giving in to that look, which led to my tragic end. This time, I turned away from his gaze and quickly left his room. "Landon, just hold on. Lydia will be here in 10 minutes. As I shut the door behind me, I heard him mutter my name through gritted teeth, but I pretended not to hear, firmly closing the door and standing guard outside. 10 minutes later, Lydia rushed in. She gave me a complicated glance, visibly relieved when she saw that I was dressed and untouched. Before stepping inside, she shot me a glance. "You can leave now. We don't need you here." I turned and headed upstairs, back to my room. It wasn't until the middle of the night that the downstairs room finally fell quiet. I exhaled deeply. In my previous life, my love for Landon had led me to become his antidote, and I had ended up pregnant with his child. He married me out of obligation, but on our wedding day, Lydia died unexpectedly, and he lost the love of his life. Then, he endured in silence until my due date, locking me in the basement. I begged him, willing to sacrifice my life for the child. That child was his too. But he ignored my pleas, watching us both die horribly, all for the sake of avenging his beloved. This time, I had brought Lydia to be his antidote, and soon I would leave, completely cutting ties with him. The next morning, Lydia appeared at the family's breakfast table. Landon took a bite of his sandwich, then casually announced, "From now on, Lydia is my girlfriend. I'll marry her. So be nice to her." He glanced at me, then pointed his fork at me. "Especially you. Be nice to my girlfriend and don't cause me trouble." I nodded indifferently while Lydia smiled smugly at me. I pretended not to notice and stood up, ready to leave before finishing my breakfast. But just as I got to my feet, I heard Lydia's soft, dramatic sobs. "Landon, does Myra not want me in the family? I know how important she is to you. If she doesn't like me, maybe I should leave." She let a few tears fall, looking as if she'd been deeply wronged. Landon frowned, clearly irritated, and called out to me, "Myra, sit down and finish your breakfast." I didn't respond, coolly saying, "I'm done." Landon's irritation deepened. "Sit down. Don't you understand what I'm saying? Is this how I raised you? With no manners?" This time, I had no intention of getting involved, but they wouldn't leave me alone. I turned back, offering a polite smile. "I've really finished. You two enjoy your meal. I'll take my leave." Half an hour later, my door was knocked on. When I opened it, I was met with Landon's deep, brooding eyes. I instinctively reached for the door, wanting to shut him out and avoid any confrontation with him. But Landon was quicker, blocking my way with ease. He raised an eyebrow, his gaze sharp as he studied me. "Avoiding me? Why?" He took a step closer, his eyes narrowing as he examined me. "Are you upset? Is it because of Lydia?" I shook my head quickly, trying to keep my tone even. "No, I'm not upset. I'm happy for you. You found someone you truly love." His expression shifted, unreadable, as though he didn't quite buy my words. "Is that really how you feel? Are you sure you're not just saying that?" He scoffed, letting out a small laugh that lacked any warmth. "Myra, don't tell me you still have feelings for me. You think I don't know about the kiss you stole from me on your 18th birthday? You were drunk, but I noticed. And all those love letters you wrote me over the years? Yeah, I read every single one. You thought you were being sneaky, but the way you looked at me, your eyes practically screamed it. You think no one noticed? Everyone could tell. You not confessing to me? Best decision you ever made, because if you had, I would be laughed in your face, he chuckled. The sound sharp and cruel. Before walking over to the desk and pulling open the bottom drawer, he grabbed a thick stack of letters and tossed them onto the floor, stepping on them carelessly. Myra, I've been taking care of you since you were 7 years old, raising you all these years. And now you've got these feelings for me? Do you even know how messed up that is? You knew I only had eyes for Lydia, yet you still wrote me love letters behind my back. Honestly, it's disgusting. Then he leaned in close, his voice low and almost mocking. I came here to tell you something. Yesterday, I was drugged. You were looking at me like you wanted to jump me. I know you thought you could be the antidote, but luckily, you didn't go through with it. If you had, I would be been disgusted for the rest of my life. You're just not worth it. A sharp pain twisted in my chest. Even though it stopped loving him in this life, hearing those words still hurt. After saying that, Landon warned me to stay away from him so Lydia wouldn't misunderstand. Then slammed the door on his way out. I didn't want to be a nuisance, so I decided to head out to take care of some overseas paperwork. I packed my things and left. That night, I purposely waited until almost 10 o'clock to come back. As soon as I walked into my room, I knew something was off. My bed had been moved. Then I saw Lydia had posted an update on social media, a selfie of her lying on the bed, smiling. $1 million mattress really is the best. I just mentioned I wasn't sleeping well, and he immediately replaced my mattress. That's why it's so important to find a man who loves you. She'd taken the mattress Landon bought for me, the one he had custom made when my back injury flared up earlier this year. It cost over $1 million. He used to be so kind to me. He knew exactly what it meant to take care of a girl, especially since he had raised me from such a young age. But he let me fall for him, and now he stood on some moral high ground, acting like I shouldn't have fallen for him in the first place. And here was Lydia, casually mentioning her bad sleep, and without even telling me, Landon had the mattress replaced. When Landon heard me return, he stood in the doorway, speaking in his usual detached way. Lydia has light sleep, so I gave her your mattress anyway. Your back's fine now, doesn't matter which mattress you sleep on. I didn't even look up, just nodded as if I couldn't care less. Landon frowned, watching me closely. Myra, you've suddenly become so reasonable. I'm not sure how to handle this. What's going on with you lately? You used to hate it when I was nice to other people. Why aren't you throwing a tantrum now? Are you planning something? I swear, if you mess with Lydia, I won't let you off easy. I finally looked up at him, my voice calm. I'm not trying to mess with anyone. Honestly, I'd rather no one mess with me. And didn't you always want me to be more sensible? Well, look at me now. You should be happy about it, right? Landon's face tightened, and he muttered, almost through gritted teeth, fine, Myra. You really know how to be a pain. With that, he slammed the door and stormed downstairs. Every time he said that, I knew he was angry, but I didn't care anymore. Whether he was angry or not didn't matter. Soon, it'd be gone. The days that followed were simple, almost predictable. Lydia made sure to flaunt her relationship with Landon, and he was still sulking at me. This time, I wasn't going to play the role of the peacemaker. A month later, Lydia made her announcement. She was pregnant. Landon couldn't contain his excitement. He was practically bursting with joy, ready to tell the world. Wedding plans with Lydia went into full swing, and the entire Pierce family was swept up in the preparations. The tables had turned, and this time, it was his beloved who was carrying his child. I had already made up my mind to let them have their happiness. After finishing my paperwork for leaving the country, I immediately booked a flight to Converse on the exact same day as their wedding. It didn't take long for Landon to come to me. Taking advantage of the fact that Lydia wasn't home, he slipped into my room and threw open the door. He pulled out his phone, opened an email, and shoved it in front of me. So, you've used your parents' money, huh? I had my lawyer check, and it's being used as a deposit for your trip abroad. What's going on? My wedding has you so upset that you're planning to run off and hide? The knot in my stomach tightened, but his mocking tone made the tension dissipate a little. When I stayed silent, his voice grew colder. Myra, how much longer are you going to drag this out? You've been giving me the cold shoulder for a month now. Were you planning to just ignore me forever if I didn't come here? Ever since Lydia moved in, you've barely spoken to me. But she's the woman I love, and if you really cared about me, you'd understand that. You can't keep running away from both of us. You can hide from us for a while, but not forever. Do you really think you'll keep avoiding us once Lydia and I are married? I shook my head quickly. Landon, you're mistaken. I've always seen you as a guardian, someone who raised me. I'm grateful to you, but that's all there is. He let out a laugh, like it just told him the funniest joke. Grateful? Myra, the whole world knows you've been in love with me for years. Who are you trying to fool? Do you honestly believe you don't love me? He glanced at the desk, his smile growing wider. Look at all these gifts I've given you. You've kept every single one of them, and you're still going to tell me you don't love me? He walked over and began picking up the gifts one by one, carefully examining them before looking back at me, his tone suddenly serious. Put all this away. I'm marrying Lydia now, and you need to stop clinging to these fantasies. We might not be related by blood, but it'll never fall for you. And now that Lydia's pregnant, I don't want her seeing this stuff. I can't let her feel uncomfortable. I have to think about my wife and child. I nodded, casually tossing the gifts into a box. I'd been planning to throw them away before I left anyway, so it worked out that I could take care of it now. Landon frowned, clearly frustrated with my lack of reaction. He stepped in front of me, stopping my hand before I could finish packing. Myra, can't you be a little more careful? You've even knocked the bunny off this hairpin. I glanced at the hairpin in his hand. It was the first gift H ever given me after my parents died and he took me in. H been their best friend. And this was his first present to me. I'd cherished it for years, never letting anyone touch it. But now, I was casually tossing it aside. Landon clearly couldn't handle it. Myra, what's with the act? You're obviously still in love with me. Don't even try to pretend you're okay with me marrying someone else. You can't stand it, can you? But here you are, acting like you couldn't care less. Who are you fooling? Don't think I don't know what's going on. You're so upset about Lydia and me getting married. You're about to run off to some other country just to get away, right? But now you're pretending like you're over it. Yeah, I'm sure you are, but fine. Go ahead, take your little trip. Lydia's pregnant, and we don't want you hanging around, getting in her way. So go, it's better for everyone. Then, without another word, he grabbed his phone and transferred $100,000 to my account. Take the money, go travel, see the world. When you get back, Lydia's pregnancy should be more stable. His eyes held a strange, almost mocking look as he added, take your time. Don't think about me too much. You'll have to get used to the fact that I'm getting married. It'll be weird if we keep bumping into each other after that. He threw a few more tips my way about my trip, but I wasn't really listening. He didn't know I was reborn, and this time, I was really leaving. On the day of his wedding, everyone at the Pierce villa was up early, running around preparing for the big day. I waited until everything was in full swing, then quietly grabbed my suitcase, slipped out the back door, and took a cab straight to the airport.